In the dangerous world of drug cartels, loyalty is everything. Yet, some of the most powerful figures betrayed their own allies, sometimes to save themselves, sometimes to gain more power. Today, we're counting down the top 10 drug lords who betrayed their own cartels. These are stories filled with fear, paranoia, backstabbing, and shocking consequences. But what really drives a kingpin to turn on his own network? Is it fear, greed, or the will to survive? And what happens when trust, the most valuable currency in the narco world, is broken? If you're fascinated by true crime, history, and the hidden stories behind the headlines, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any episode from the Narco Files. Now, let's step into the dark and twisted world of betrayal and find out how the most notorious cartel leaders turned against the very people who trusted them. 1. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo, was once untouchable as the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. He rose from humble beginnings to control one of the most powerful drug empires in the world. But power in the narco world is never guaranteed, and Chapo faced constant threats, not just from law enforcement, but from within his own organization. To maintain his position, Chapo didn't hesitate to turn on former allies. Some betrayals were strategic, removing rivals who could challenge his leadership. Others were acts of survival, aimed at protecting himself from plots that could end his life. These moves often sparked deadly infighting, leaving a trail of violence and fear. Chapo's story shows the brutal realities of the cartel world. Loyalty is fragile, and even those at the very top must make impossible choices to survive. In a world where one mistake can be fatal, betrayal can seem like the only way to stay alive. For many, El Chapo is both a legend and a cautionary tale, a reminder that power and trust rarely coexist in the narco universe. 2. Vicente Zambada Niebla, El Vicentillo. Vicente Zambada Niebla, also known as El Vicentillo, was born into the powerful Sinaloa cartel as the son of Ismael El Mayo Zambada, one of Mexico's most feared drug lords from the very start. His life was entwined with the cartel, and loyalty was supposed to be everything. Yet even blood ties couldn't shield him from the pressure of the law. When the DEA and U.S. authorities began closing in, Vicente made a shocking choice. He secretly cooperated with law enforcement to reduce his own prison sentence. This betrayal shook the Sinaloa cartel from the inside. Through Vicente, investigators gained insight into shipments, operations, and the identities of key allies. The information exposed vulnerabilities in a network that had long seemed untouchable. Vicente's story shows that in the narco world, fear can outweigh family loyalty. Even the son of a kingpin can choose survival over allegiance. His cooperation didn't just save his life, it changed the dynamics of one of Mexico's most powerful criminal organizations. Loyalty may be sacred, but fear and self-preservation often win in the world of cartels. 3. Juan Carlos Ramírez Abadía, Chupeta. Juan Carlos Ramírez Abadía, known as Chupeta, was one of the most powerful figures in Colombia's Cali cartel. He oversaw large parts of the organization's operations, earning respect and fear in equal measure. But even the most feared leaders face pressure, and Chupeta eventually found himself surrounded by law enforcement. To protect himself from a long prison sentence, he made a shocking decision. He cooperated with authorities and testified against his own cartel. His betrayal sent shockwaves through the organization. Allies were arrested, operations were disrupted, and trust within the cartel was shattered. Chupeta's story is a stark reminder that in the world of cartels, power is fragile. Fear and the instinct to survive often outweigh loyalty. No matter how high you rise, one wrong move or one choice to save yourself can crumble everything you've built. 4. Héctor Luis Palma Salazar, El Güero Palma. Héctor Luis Palma Salazar, famously known as El Güero Palma, was one of the original leaders of the Sinaloa cartel. Trusted by many at the top, he seemed untouchable. But in the world of drug cartels, trust is rare and fragile. When some of his former allies betrayed him, Palma didn't just accept it, he struck back. His retaliation was decisive. By turning against those who had crossed him, Palma triggered infighting within the Sinaloa cartel. This betrayal fractured the organization and created a power vacuum, forcing everyone to reassess their loyalties. Allies switched sides and enemies gained ground. Palma's story highlights a brutal truth of the narco world. Loyalty can vanish in an instant when survival is at stake. In a life filled with danger, even the most respected leaders can be undone or forced to betray to stay alive. 5. Osiel Cárdenas Guillén. Osiel Cárdenas Guillén, the feared leader of the Gulf Cartel, was known for his ruthless tactics and iron grip on his organization. He commanded respect and terror through violence and intimidation. But even the most powerful leaders have limits. After being captured by authorities, Osiel made a shocking decision. He began cooperating with law enforcement. He provided critical intelligence about his own operations and even revealed information about the Zetas, a violent faction within the cartel. His betrayal sent shockwaves through the Gulf Cartel. Operations were disrupted, alliances crumbled, and the cartel's inner workings were exposed. Cárdenas' story shows a harsh reality of the narco world. Fear and survival often outweigh loyalty. Even the most feared figures can be forced to betray those closest to them. In a dangerous world where trust is scarce, betrayal can become a tool to save one's own life. 6. Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo. Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, often called the godfather of Mexican drug trafficking, was the architect of one of the most powerful cartels in history. He controlled massive operations, coordinated shipments across borders, and built a network that seemed untouchable. His intelligence and ruthlessness made him a legend in the narco world. But even legends are not invincible. After his arrest in the late 1980s, Félix Gallardo's cooperation with authorities, whether direct or through providing information that led to arrests, helped dismantle much of the empire he had built. Key leaders were captured, operations were disrupted, and alliances dissolved. His story shows a harsh truth about the drug world. Power is fragile, and loyalty is often temporary. Betrayal, whether voluntary or forced, can undo decades of influence. Even the most feared figures can see everything they built crumble around them. 7. Damaso López Núñez, El Licenciado. Damaso López Núñez, known as El Licenciado, was once the trusted right-hand man of Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán in the Sinaloa cartel. He managed operations, enforced loyalty, and seemed completely devoted to Chapo's empire. But after Chapo's arrest, Damaso made a choice that would shock the narco world. He betrayed his former boss. Seeking to secure his own power and protect his position, he began working with U.S. authorities. He provided key intelligence about the inner workings of the cartel, exposing allies, shipments, and strategies. This betrayal weakened the Sinaloa cartel and created new conflicts among its members. Damaso's story is a striking example of how quickly alliances can shift in the drug world. Loyalty is fragile, and survival often comes before friendship. In this dangerous game, yesterday's ally can become today's betrayer in an instant. 8. Salvador Don Chepe. Gómez, Salvador Don Chepe. Gómez was a key figure in the Medellin cartel, deeply trusted and connected to its inner circle. For years, he managed operations and maintained alliances that kept the cartel strong. But when pressure mounted from law enforcement and rival groups, Don Chepe made a choice that would shock the criminal world. He betrayed his own cartel connections. By collaborating with rival factions, he protected himself and ensured his survival, even if it meant turning against people who had once trusted him. His actions weakened parts of the Medellin cartel and showed how fragile loyalty can be in a dangerous, high-stakes world. Don Chepe's story is a reminder that in the narco world, fear and survival often outweigh friendship and loyalty. Once one betrayal occurs, it can trigger a chain reaction, leaving trust shattered and alliances in chaos. 9. Francisco Javier Arellano Félix. Francisco Javier Arellano Félix led the Tijuana cartel with authority and influence, but even family ties couldn't protect him forever. After his capture by U.S. authorities, he chose to cooperate, providing critical intelligence that weakened his own cartel and put key operations at risk. In the narco world, loyalty is like currency, but fear and survival often outweigh it. Arellano Felix's decision shows how even the most trusted figures can turn against their own to save themselves. His story is a stark reminder. In Cartels, betrayal is rarely personal. It's a survival strategy. 10. Carlos Lehder. Carlos Lehder, co-founder of the infamous Medellin cartel, was once untouchable, feared for his ruthlessness and power. But after being extradited to the United States, Lehder made a shocking decision. He testified against Pablo Escobar's network, betraying his former allies. His cooperation helped law enforcement dismantle parts of the Medellin cartel, proving that even legends of the drug world aren't immune to the consequences of their choices. In the dangerous narco world, survival can mean turning on those closest to you, and Lehder's story shows how betrayal often becomes a tool to protect oneself. Lessons from the narco world. These stories share a clear pattern: fear, paranoia, and fragile loyalty. In the violent world of cartels, betrayal is often a tool, and trust is rare. Even the strongest alliances can collapse under pressure, proving how close power and vulnerability really are. The higher someone climbs in this world, the harder the fall, and one act of betrayal can ripple through an entire organization. Outro. In the world of drug cartels, betrayal isn't just a plot twist. It's about survival, greed, and sometimes revenge. The stories of these top 10 drug lords show how loyalty can fail, how fear changes even the strongest people, and how the most powerful figures can be undone by those they trusted most. Which story shocked you the most? Do you think any of these drug lords had no choice but to betray their allies? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark world of cartels, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more episodes from the Narco Files. These stories of power, betrayal, and survival show that in the narco world, trust is fragile, and one wrong move can change everything.